If you're on this video, wow, you're meant to understand things. You're meant to go back to yourself. Like, I've tried to start this video, but like I cracked my matches, I don't know how to say it in English. So maybe you're in a moment where you're either super aligned with your heart and your mind and your soul, or you're maybe not connected and you've lost yourself and you're trying to like look after this part that is missing. It's like you're experiencing both at the same time. Like sometimes you're losing your mission and you're too focused on the material world, and sometimes you're thinking that you're too much in your mission and you're not super focused on the material world, as if you couldn't like match those two things, as if it was too hard for you at the moment to be able to have the yang and the yin connected together, have the material things happening to you, and at the same time be really dreamy, creative in your imagination, in your vision, in your heart, without thinking, without being in the mental. How can you balance yourself? How can you find that beautiful balance where everything unfolds, the material world and your mission, and you're like really comfortable by experiencing this life on this earth with this body, and you're not suffering from that? Because when you're going on a spiritual path, sometimes you can suffer from being too much in your heart, and you're suffering to be in this little body and not being able to like fly and flow and like enjoy just this divine essence inside of you. But if you're here on this physical world, if you're here with this mental, if you're here with this body, you have to accept that, because it's part of your experience and you cannot chase, you cannot like go out of that. You can be super connected to your spiritual messages, or like, you know, looking at those videos, or be connected, be grounded. It's important. But you have to be super aware of not losing the rules of the material world. What do we have about this topic? Or do we need to know something? Do we need to understand things? The chariot. Yeah, use your determination, use your motivation to, like, don't accept that you're broke. Don't accept that you're too much on this side or too much on the other side. Motivate yourself and find some true motivation, like a big vision for you to be not too much on the yin or on the yang, not too much on the material world and on the mental, on the ego, and not too much in a place that you will find anyway after your death. You will go there. Don't worry. Maybe you're not here just to experience this, but maybe you're here to teach people how to go with you there. But for that, you have to know the rules of this material world. You cannot chase that. You have to be grounded still. And for that, you have to understand how to deal with the material world too. But you cannot deal with the material if you're not a little bit in the yin, in the flow, in the love. Because the suffer belongs to the mental. The suffer belongs to the ego. But when you're using the ego as a tool, and when you're not identifying yourself to the mental, to the ego, then you can do a lot of beautiful things, and those things will happen super fast. The chariot is like determination, things that will come in your way really fast because you've understood how to deal with this balance. How to be grounded, focus on your path, Prioritize yourself, prioritize your spirituality, prioritize those moments, those rituals, whatever. But still navigating, sorry for my English, navigating in this life to still do what you were meant to do in this lifetime. You will have a lot of obstacles going on your way because your mission is big, and because you've been called to go in that mission, it only means that you're capable of going there, because you would not have those thoughts, those even this voice inside of you telling you should go there. Why not trying there? Even if nobody supports that. That's the point. The fact that people are not supporting you or are not understanding you doesn't mean that you're wrong. Doesn't mean that you're going on the wrong path. Maybe it's a indication. Maybe it's a lesson. Maybe it's something you can study, you can look at in a different look and be like, wait, I know I have to use this material world to do what I'm here to do, but I'm not gonna lose myself again in how I used to act in the past when I was too much in my ego. And for that, I will accept that I will cross people that will not be 100% right. They will not follow your path. They will not understand what you're doing. But that's because they're still in the material world. They're still in the ego. But you've been in the more spiritual world. You've put a feet there. You cannot help but looking at this part of you that you've discovered. You cannot go back to how you used to act. So you cannot go back to those difficulty that you used to had when you were in front of someone that couldn't understand you. You cannot go back to that, because it means that you're going back to this world. Because how can you speak to someone that have never put a foot in the other side, that never seen the color, that have only seen this part? How can you even try to talk to someone that has never seen that you can like turn on a fire thanks to this little red stuff? You cannot try to convince them. It's not your role. You just have to follow your path. And in this path, you will find people that will be inspired, that will follow you. If you're good, if you're looking good, if you're like good in your body, if you're like experiencing this world with this happiness, with this joy, people will be, they will ask questions, they will wonder how you're doing. And they will probably at some point try to go on your way, or like at least try to touch what you're talking about, but let them having their own realization, because you would not want anyone to steal you the path that you've been in to be able to touch this spiritual world. You don't want people to take that from you. You've enjoyed the way, you've enjoyed the path, you've enjoyed how you discovered this. You've enjoyed that. So let those people enjoy this too. And if they're not meant to go with you, then it's okay. You're still loving them. But you're not trying to convince them. It's only you with you. And find it funny to actually look at people that are still here. Not in a judgment way, but find it funny because you're recognizing you in them, because you've been there. You've been in this black and white world. You've been in a moment thinking that fire could not exist. Imagine the first person seeing fire for the first time. someone that try to explain what it is to someone that have never seen fire, this person will just lose his energy trying to convince him. But if one day you're showing this fire to this person, then they will understand. But for that, you just have to carry your fire and not let it die by trying to convince people from the material world that fire exists. Because as much as, like, when you're doing that too much, your fire is starting to be more little and more little, and you're going back to that. It's like negativity always win. When you're having like a plus with a 1, a plus with a minus, the minus will take the plus. Always. So do not go too much in that. But at the same time, having 1 foot in the material world to be able to do your mission, to be able what you were meant to do. Yeah, so you will have obstacles, but be happy to go through those obstacles. The road is not meant to be easy for you because you are able to you're able to go in this path. You're able to go on this way. Life would have not give you those difficulties if you were not capable of facing them. You're meant to face them in order to show the way after that. And that's enough. You don't need anything. You don't need to prove anything. If you've experienced it in your body, you don't need to label anything. It will resonate for someone, but maybe you're someone that wants to be labeled in order to be legit, in order to feel that your place is worth it, or that your place is, I don't know, like, you know, having the label of, oh, this person is a doctor, this person is a psy, this person is a teacher, whatever. You don't need those labels in order to find yourself and to know who you are. Knowing who you are is an experiment. It's an experience in your body. And someone that knows who she or he is doesn't need those labels. He just know it. You can have those labels and not be capable of embody those labels, trust those labels, believe that you're capable of having those labels. So having those labels or not having those labels, we do not care. What you're here to do is just using the material world as a tool, but do not go too much in it, because you will lose your light, you will lose the fire, you will lose what you've seen, because the ego doesn't want you to see that. Because if you're seeing that, the ego dies. And when the ego is not here anymore, then you're going to, like, when the ego is not here anymore, you're going to like this unconditional love. But as you're here to teach people to go into this light, you cannot lose completely your ego. But you can observe him. You can use him as a tool. Use it as a tool. A lot of things. What do we need to know at the moment? What do we need to know at the moment that could help us with temperance? Temperance. Yeah, you're creating from what you've experiencing, from what you've experienced, sorry, this new way of thinking, this new way of using your ego as a tool. Before, you were not using your ego as a tool. He was using you. You were doubting. You were thinking that you were not good enough, that you needed some validation or like having some labels on your name. And now you're understanding that it's so much bigger than that. You've been through the healing process. You've healed. You've healed. It's done. It's already done. Do not think that you're not healed. Do not think that you have something to fix. Do not think that if you have that or that or that, you're going to be better or enough. You're already a miracle. You're already enough. Stop thinking of what people will think, or stop thinking of like, I don't know why I'm having the label thing, like labeling things. Maybe you're like a little bit insecure about the path that you're going into. Maybe you're like going from 360 like in another direction, maybe in your career or whatever, and you're like, who am I to go there? I need to have a label. But you don't have to. Your experience is enough to share with your energy what you've been through and how you learn from that. Do those things only if you really want it in your vessel, like you're feeling cold to label things, or like to have like courses that will help you having more clues or more knowledge. But yeah, do that if you feel that it's good in your body, but do not do that only because it will feed your ego, it will feed your mental, because you're going back to that world. You've understood how to go out of that. But the ego is always here, is always trying to put you back to that. So you have to be always conscious, always aware. I don't know why like those things are really coming super strong in a like labeling thing, or maybe you could feel not legit of what you're doing, but at the same time it's like you're feeling not legit when you are in the mental, when you are in the ego, when you're starting to analyze things, when you're too much in your head. But when you're focusing on your heart, then you're like, damn, I'm enough. And I'm here to tell you that you're enough. But if you want to like having more knowledge or whatever, first you can like learn online. You can learn online everything. And like, it's not because you're having like a diploma or things like that that people will take you more seriously. Your energy will be taken seriously, whatever you're doing, because you're feeling deep inside the truth. And people will feel that you're feeling the truth. And so they will trust what you're feeling is the truth. Look at those things, look at those worries, and try to understand why those things are coming on top. What are they teaching you? What can they teach you? What can they make you understand more things about yourself? Yourself, not your ego. But most of people are still in the ego, so it's hard not to be sometimes in your ego and not to be sometimes sucked by those doubts. But you know deep inside, when you're removing everything from that, who you truly are. So now that you know who you are, you have to use that to follow your mission. And your mission will be beautiful. Like, everything is beautiful on the way. But every little step that you're going into, like every little thing that you're doing, from a space of love. You have to celebrate. Doing those videos is like uncomfortable for me. And I have to celebrate, for example, doing that. Because it's not easy. It's not easy to be different. So I have to celebrate. I have to feed my soul. I have to feed my heart and tell myself that everything is okay. I'm safe now. I'm safe to use my ego as a tool and to look if sometimes the ego is using me. I'm safe because now I have understood the rules of the game. I've understood how to look at the ego. How to be connected as much as I can to my mission, to my vision. And the more I'm connected to this, the more you're connected to this, the more you will be able to use everything as a tool for you to have all your desire. I need another card. Oh my goodness. That's exactly what we were talking about. The 9 of Swords is the card where you're like anxious about things. Your ego is taking a lot of space right now. Whew. The moment I've said your ego is taking a lot of space right now, I've heard like a big noise. I'm feeling it strongly. Strongly? It's quite strong. When you're going back to your ego, you're nurturing, you're feeding the ego only when you're allowing him to exist and to take the space. When you're really looking at things differently, looking at something beautiful around you, like you're feeling like in that moment super worried, and then imagine like just looking at the bed. Oh my god. This just did this. Why am I like a little bit anxious? It's like I'm feeling the energy of this card. But like when you're just looking at your bed or whatever, you will see that there's like little colors, like, oh, it's cute, it's beautiful, or whatever. Like, you will see all the details of the bed. You will go back to the present moment. The ego doesn't like the present moment. But when you're like in your mind, in your thoughts, then you're letting the ego exist, but it dies instantly when you're looking at things around you. Look at something beautiful around you. Like, look at this amazing, amazing plants. Look at the flame. Be aware. Oh, little devil. What is this face? What is it? Yeah, I don't know why when I've looked at this, like, he is smiling, but at the same time he's a little bit like a little devil. And I would say when I'm looking at this card that it's like make your devil inside of you smile. How can I even explain that? Because the ego is the devil. The ego wants to survive. But when you're starting to smile, the ego is dying. When you're having a big laugh, when you're laughing with someone, when you're having fun, you're not in your ego. You cannot be. How can you even make this scene funny? Like, oh my god, what is that? Why there are so many swords here? It's so funny, or whatever. Like, you're finding something funny, and now you're killing the ego. It's a lot about ego. It's a lot about, we've talked about this balance between using the ego with this spiritual awakening, with this spiritual look, and using the ego to do the things that you're supposed to do on this earth. Finding the balance and not be unbalanced, not be too much there and not too much there. I'm really feeling this strongly. I don't know why. Maybe you've been through something, like maybe you've been through an unbalanced behavior recently, like, or an unbalanced feeling deep down. Try to look at this, because if there is like a feeling on the side that have not been looked at, that have not been studied, then it means that there is still something with the ego. You didn't accept something. So when you're feeling something, unbalanced behavior or whatever, like unbalanced feeling, don't let that eat you like completely, but be aware when it's here and be like, what is it? What is it? I'm thankful that you're here because you're going to teach me something. What is it? Are you feeling unbalanced at the moment, and how are you dealing with that unbalanced feeling? Judgment. Yeah, I'm really feeling that when you will feel that you've found your balance, you will be free from your prison. This is only the mental. This is only what is happening in your head. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. This card is the contrary of this card. This card is the truth, the last judgment. Like, finally, we found something, unconditional love or whatever. And this is the mental, when it's too much here, when it's the illusion that is taking too much space, this space. And the card with the balance is exactly that, finding the balance between those two. Like, not being trapped in this, and not being like, using that as a tool. Be here and use that as a tool. You cannot let those things use you anymore. You cannot. And it will go super fast. The moment you will understand that, everything will go super fast, as we said with the chariot. Nine of Wands. Yeah, you're really on the way of finding your alignment, finding your power, and being so sure of all the things that are already here. The mental is questioning everything. But when you know that you have all those wants, it's here. It's done. You don't have to think of it. The presence of them are here. Like, It's not your imagination, it's just here. It's not an illusion. An illusion, it's hard to say. It's not an illusion. This is an illusion. You're thinking too much. Will I have those ones? Will I be good? But those ones are already here. It's already in your field. You just have to connect yourself to this field where you have everything. And not be too focused on what you're missing. Be focused on this beautiful, I don't know, whatever. Find something, love, find beauty around you, be grateful. How can't you be grateful of having this experience on this earth? The world is in your hand. You have everything. You have all the ones already. You have them, they're here. You don't have to be attached to them because you know that whatever you're doing, you will find other ones anyway. Yeah, it's a lot about balancing your ego. Ooh, this card is the Six of Cups. To balance your ego, to have this balance between the Judgment card and the Mental card. To have this balance between the illusion and the truth. You have to remember how you were feeling things when you were a child, when you were playing, when you were laughing. This is like a nostalgic card, but with a smile. Not like nostalgic that you don't like or whatever. Feeling sad because you don't have those things anymore. No, when you're thinking of your childhood or like good moments of your childhood, when you were not thinking of anything, when you were just playing, you're thinking at those things with a big smile on your face. You even envy those things. You want them back sometimes. But the way you were looking at life when you were a kid it's just different from how you're looking at life with your eyes today. But the life, the world, has always been the Judgment card. Has always been love, unconditional love, playing with life, creating things, not using your ego. The child cannot live in this earth, in this world, without the parent, because the parent is here to the safety of the child. It's kind of the ego of the child. The child can use his creativity, the Judgment card where he's like so happy, so in his, playful energy. Look, they're like playing, they've put some little flowers on the cups. They're having the space to express themselves, to experience life as if there was no ego, because they're having their parent for that, to protect them. But now that you're an adult, how can you go back to that feeling and give you that safety, that ego, but using it as a tool to go back to those moments in your adult world? It's just here. The world have not changed. When you're walking in the street and you're seeing some child, they're playing with everything that they're seeing around you. They're seeing around them. But you, when you're walking on the same street, you're in your head. You're thinking of things. You're not looking at life with the same eyes as them. But the life has not changed. The world you are in is the same as those child. It's not them that are having a problem with their mind or with their head. They're just not in the ego. So how can you be inspired? Wow. 7 of Cups. How can you be inspired and play with all those cups? 6 of Cups, 7 of Cups. It's like you're in a moment where you can enjoy those things. Everything is already here. You do not miss anything. When you're in the mental, you're thinking that something is missing, but you're not missing. Nothing is missing. Everything is perfectly fine. Look at the world as if you were a child, and you will see that everything is fine. You're just so happy when you're a child to discover the world, to discover everything that is here in front of you. You're amazed. You're amazed. You're like, whoa, there are so many things to discover. Why can't you have this behavior anymore? Why can't you have this look anymore? Everything is just here, and you're even like in front of so many cups, so many options, and you don't even know which one to pick. You're abundant, as if you were in front of a super big garden and you had to choose just one plant. You will be like, but this plant is good, but this is good too, but this is good too, but this is good too. But when you're in the mental, you're thinking that nothing is here, that you don't have those choice, but you have those choice. Everything is here. You just have to change the way you're looking at things. I hope it helped. And I think I will stop now. But this is like super beautiful. I'm enjoying like, how can we remember to have this balance between the physical world and the truth, kind of. Like the material world, what is happening in our head, the illusion of this reality, and the truth of the love that is everywhere around us. And still experience this human experience with a big smile and be like, I'm really happy to use my ego to be able to have the things that I want, to be able to help the world. But yeah, tell me if it resonates, and I'm saying bye-bye.